Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Lovely to see you all here. I'm Nick Gowing, and as Frederick said, founder and director of the Thinking the Unthinkable project. Hanna and I are here to drive the agenda between now and just after 4 o'clock. Please have your phones ready for a few minutes' time. And on the line from now, on Slido, if you can, please. We'll have 2 questions shortly, and be ready to voice your thinking throughout the day. Contribute as well. This is not just about us up on a platform, it's about you as well. Hanna.
So yes, I'm Hanna Grahn, and I'm the climate lead at Spotify, and we'll together navigate you through this day, hopefully leave you safe and sound on the other side, but also more inspired and have more insights after this day. And to do that, we have an amazing set of speakers and panelists to share their perspectives and ideas, but make sure also that you ask questions. We have time for all the sessions for questions as well. So to Nick's point, use the raise your hand, we'll run around with microphones, but remember, we want the questions and not the speeches, please.
So just a few personal reflections from Hanna and me before Sir Alok speaks. We want a day of optimism and looking forward if possible, but we have to be realistic. The science on the climate emergency and tackling sustainability is increasingly dire and sinister. But then we have new positions, what Frederick has just called a detour by the British Prime Minister and indeed the Swedish government to dilute commitments to net zero. This is when a potentially terrifying reality is getting worse, much faster than even the consensus view of the scientific community had predicted. You all know the evidence of floods and baking temperatures in recent weeks alone in so many areas. But this was confirmed in a chilling report. If you haven't read it, I'm going to just repeat their big conclusion a few days ago by the Stockholm Resilience Centre. More than ever, they said, more than ever, the stability of the entire planet is now at risk because of human activity. It concluded for the first time ever, all 9 planetary boundaries have been assessed. 6 of the boundaries have now been transgressed. Earlier this year, it was confirmed that 4 had been crossed. Now, a few months later, it is 6. And around our coast, the water temperature is up 4 degrees in a year. 4 degrees in a year. A few days ago, during the New York Climate Week, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres despairingly warned that, quote, the era of global warming has ended. The era of global boiling has arrived. He repeated that humanity has opened the gates of hell, his words, not mine. We are heading for a 2.8 degree increase because of, quote, foot dragging and naked greed. That coming from the UN Secretary General. And the incoming president of COP28 in Dubai in late November warns that we must together reduce emissions by 43% by 2030. That's in 6 years' time. Otherwise, we're all heading for that rise in temperature, which he thinks is increasingly likely. The challenge is achievable, but how? That's why a gathering like this is so important. And we're fast running out of time. Far too many corporates, large, small, medium, are not in the frame for action or even close to it. Executives refer rather blithely to net zero ambitions, but then they confide they've not really gripped what it is and what it means. And they have other immediate priorities like financial liquidity and their supply chains. And there's not just greenwashing anymore, but green hushing, the corporate fear of being too open about how they are moving to green. They want to keep quiet about it. So today is about that reality check on multiple fronts for you all. Get your handsets ready, and we'll be delighted to start with Sir Alok Sharma, fresh back from New York in a moment. But Hanna.
This all might seem pretty grim and basically combating climate change like an impossible task. But what I think is important to remember here is that we know the problem and we also can fix it. I mean, we have most of the solutions already. So you might then question, why are we then not moving faster or not even in the right direction? I mean, to Nick's point, we're actually increasing emissions and going beyond the boundaries that we have set. Well, I think we actually all need to be a little bit more brave enough to actually disrupt our industry, think differently. We don't need to do it the way we've always done. I mean, there are companies making protein from thin air. Anything can be possible. I think we also need to be just as big of a problem as greenwashing. So you will hear the speakers. They will definitely share some recommendations what you can do. So please steal with pride, but also take the coffee breaks, the lunch to meet each other and change ideas, because we have no time to work in silos and do the same mistakes.
But we would like to just gauge how your mood is changing and your perception is changing. Let's move on at the speed we want to move the whole day forward. So Alok Sharma, welcome. Just back from New York, and announced 2 days ago you're leaving Parliament. You've told your constituency in Reading. So please come up and opening remarks. And note that Alok has decided to go in shirt sleeves. So that is the dress code for today. And to make it conversational, more accessible, Sir Alok, the floor is yours.